guys, so I figured I'd just do a video about the tools I use, and if this type of horsemanship is something you want to pursue, or if you like the tools or what have you, you can go out and get them. I do think they're pretty dang beneficial, but by no means do I think that if you're short on money or that there's any pressing reason you have to go out and get them. I will say that rope halters for the clinic are the best, and if you don't have one, I can provide you with one. I can bring one down. I'll probably bring some extras. My preference, if you don't have one and you decide, hey, I'm gonna go out and get one, my preference, I don't get the ones with knots over their noses. This is Cersei. Because I think that one, there's some pressure points in on their noses, and the main reason people use them is so that they can be firm enough. I personally, if I have to, can get pretty dang firm, so I don't want anything extra that could cause damage. Not everybody can get as firm as I can or quick with their hands. My background is the last 7 years working with rescues, and so sometimes I get horses that run over the top of you and pull you to the ground and get loose. And so a moment of getting in there quick and being able to move them around to get through the other side and be able to find some softness. I want to know that I can be as firm as I need to without causing any physical damage. And sometimes I feel like those four knot halters, people get in there, and especially for horses with more refined faces, it can be pretty harsh. So I like these type of rope halters, and then my line, if I can show you, the way my video set up is pretty hokey. So this is a roughly 12-foot line. A whole lot longer than that gets really hard, and a whole lot shorter than that, like a normal lead line, is a little harder to move them in some of the ways that we'll move them in the clinic. So if you have access to or can go out and get yourself 12 to 14-foot line, that's ideal. Again, if you don't, we will make do. I spent years working horses with tools that weren't the latest or greatest. Well, I still do. That being said, I wanted to show you the halter, and I wanted to show you, if you are interested in the intro to flag work class, the flags that I get. So you can go online and get pretty expensive flags. You're just the sweetest. Through like the Buck Bronneman page, and every Clinton Anderson has some, and every big wig flag, natural horsemanship, you can go on and they're like $80 or something like that. And they're great. They do last longer. We, at the rescue, when we use flags, they tend to break quite often. So if you think you're gonna do flag work and you can invest in a nicer one, by all means go for it. At Coastal, you can find these ones. I believe they're Mustang brand. Probably call ahead and make sure they have them. Maybe start calling now if you think you're gonna get one, because they usually, every time I've been, they'll have like 2 or 3 or 4, and sometimes they'll run out, just depending on influx. They have a bigger square on them. It's pretty dang flappy. And then this one in particular has like a foam handle. These are not metal. Some of the flags you buy online will have metal, whatever you want to, poles to them. I personally don't like them, because if I have a moment where I'm using a flag on a horse and my coordination is bad, or the horse runs into it, poking them with something that's little metal, I haven't ever had anything that damages the horse, but it definitely has a different feel. Instead of bend, it just kind of like pokes into them. So my preference is not having a metal one, but I know plenty of fantastic horsemen that do use those. And then sometimes you'll find these kind. You can see the flag is a lot smaller. They break a little easier, and they're just like a total different feel. That being said, I'll use them. Like, if this is all you can find and you're in a pinch and you go get one, sure, go grab it. The other ones work a little better, but where I'm at, we have 2 small farm stores, and these are usually the ones that they have. The classes are kind of up to you guys on how we outline them. my thought process was the morning class would be kind of an intro to groundwork, specifically to how I do groundwork, and the things that I see in our area that are kind of prevalent. Horses running over people, getting in their space, horses being braced in different areas of their bodies, not being able to give the pull or bend, things that are super beneficial and helpful. Being able to send, to move the hindquarters, the forequarters, to back easily. Kind of having a conversation on the word respect, how sometimes it is used in a dominant type way, and so people don't like it. Respect, to me, is something we earn with a horse just by being super grounded and having good boundaries. And so we'll kind of talk about what that means. I'm naturally a pushover personality. I'm naturally not super confident. I don't walk into a room saying I'm gonna get it done, and I think because of that, I relate to a lot of women. And so I've really had to study the whens and the whys and the wheres of having good boundaries, having a moment of dominance if it's needed to get respect, what I'm looking for, and how to do that with a partnership with a horse and feeling good about it. Sometimes we get in there with horses and we get pretty firm, and it grinds against us. We feel like bullies. And so if there's anybody that wants to have that kind of discussion, it's something that I feel like I study it every day, to be honest. So that can lead into, I think I mentioned sending through obstacles, which is super helpful for things like trailer loading. And if you're outside and it's windy and your horse is scared and you have to be able to maneuver them, being able to move them in a way that doesn't put you in a place of danger. One of the components to that is something that I call distance leading. And it means instead of leading kind of from the front this way, you would hold sideways like this, and you'd either have a flag or the tail end of your lead rope to buffer between you and the horse. And if they spooked or were scared, you would just kind of take them in a circle either around you or roll their hindquarters, or depending on you and your horse, you could bump them back. But then that way you don't have a horse that gets behind you and sucks in and runs you over or constantly pushes into you. Speaking of pushy, let's back up. The second class, so we can do that in both classes, and really some of those things sound pretty common, and they are, but there's, like everything else in horsemanship, there's rabbit holes and philosophies and ideologies, and everything kind of goes into feel and timing, and you can spend your lifetime just studying one of these things. So some of that stuff will go into the morning and the afternoon class, and it'll kind of depend on you guys. If you have specific issues that you want worked on with your horses, pulling back, tying, picking up feet, lunging, teaching them different forms of how to relax and having some cues for that. And then the second class can be all of those types of things. It can also lead into flag work, and we would go over the same maneuvers but with the flag, how to use the flag, blind spots, what to watch out for, different ways to use the flag. There's different rhythms, like how you might use it in different areas, how hard you might use it. So it's kind of one of those things that you will probably walk away learning just one or two things or tidbits that are really easy to latch onto, and then the rest, it's just a starter to this type of horsemanship and where you want to take it. It's not anything that's going to be easy by any means. If any of you guys have learned new things with horses, you know that you have everything from behavior stuff to watch, to timing to watch, to our own coordination, which is just so hard sometimes. It's ridiculous. So, it's just kind of intro classes to how I work horses, how to keep you guys safe, how to get respect out of your horses. And then we'll talk about how it leads into everything else too, the type of groundwork that I do. If you guys have any more questions on tools, if you have specific things you want to work on, if you want to write it in the group and I'll kind of jot it down and we'll talk about it. I'd love to have some discussion time before each class. And it sounds like we'll have some in between during the lunch break. So I think that's it. If you guys have specific things you need help on, let me know. And if it doesn't sound like it's the right class for you, that's totally fine. It's kind of a new thing for me to be giving clinics outside of the rescue world. So you'll have to be a little patient with me. But if it's an opportunity to teach and to learn from you guys, I'm all in. I think it's great. I think we need more of it. So anyway, I'm excited to meet you. Thank you.